Listen to me for a moment. Right now, I want you to picture a giant clock ticking loudly in your mind, each second echoing with the promise of opportunity or the sting of regret. You feel that sound in your chest, don't you? That insistent beat reminding you that time is the one currency you can never get back. You can lose money and earn it again. You can lose chances and sometimes find new ones. But you can't recover a single hour that slips through your fingers. And when we let our precious time flow away, day by day, minute by minute, we chip away at our own possibilities. We shrink our dreams. We deny ourselves the chance to become who we were meant to be. We settle for excuses instead of striving for excellence. We let the swirl of distractions pull us in until we're too wary to do anything that truly matters. If you feel that ache of lost time, if you've ever woken up and realized you spent an entire day on meaningless tasks, you're not been alone, and so have millions of others. But the difference comes when you stand up and decide, no more. I will not waste another day. That's the urgency behind this message. Time is short, and life is too magnificent to be squandered. When we ignore the importance of our hours, we're not just hurting ourselves. We're shortchanging our families, our communities, and the entire world waiting to see our brilliance. You might ask, why is it so critical to use every hour wisely? Because time is your vehicle for impact. It's the invisible resource that fuels every dream, every action, every victory. Without it, nothing happens. With it, everything is possible. But you must harness it. You have to take the reins. Many of us go through the day on autopilot, scrolling through endless feeds, binge watching episodes, or drowning in tasks that don't push us forward. It's comfortable, maybe even momentarily soothing. But comfort can be a trap. It keeps us locked in place. It makes us forget that each day is a new opportunity to break our own limits. You have 24 hours just like everyone else. You have the same blank canvas each morning. What painting will you create? Will you let someone else splash random colors on it? Will you leave it empty? Or will you design it? Choose the bold colors. Step back with pride and say, I made every moment count. When you understand the value of those 24 hours, you see your world differently. You stop letting excuses dictate your actions. You stop settling for later, maybe. Instead, you become the master of your destiny. This isn't just about the big things, like chasing massive goals or building empires, though that's part of it. It's also about the small moments that add up to real transformation. 5 minutes of journaling, 10 minutes of planning your day, 15 minutes of reaching out to people who inspire you. Those small investments multiply, but only if you're intentional. Only if you realize that each hour you waste is an hour you could have spent strengthening your skills, deepening your relationships, nurturing your passions. That's why we need to talk about stopping time leaks and using every second to push ourselves forward. We have to talk about how to become guardians of our own agendas. We have to reclaim the hours that slip away unnoticed. And we have to recognize that tomorrow isn't guaranteed. So if you're tired of feeling stuck, if you're hungry for a better future, if you want to stand at the end of your life with no regrets, let this moment be your turning point. Lean in. Turn off any distractions. Commit yourself to the next steps, because once you understand how to protect your time, you'll unlock doors you didn't even know were there. You'll feel a surge of energy and clarity. You'll break chains you never realized were binding you. And you'll do it by taking control of your most valuable resource, your 24 hours. When you do that, you'll discover a sense of purpose that will light up your days and make every breath meaningful. Now, I want us to look at the first step in this journey. It starts with a powerful mindset shift. Too many people get trapped by the belief that they have no control over how their time gets used. They blame their boss, their family demands, their never-ending to-do list. They stay up too late, wake up feeling drained, then wonder why the day passes in a blur. They hide behind the phrase, "I'm too busy," when what they really mean is, "I haven't decided what truly matters." Let me tell you this, deciding what matters is the key. If you don't decide, someone else will. And I promise you, if you let the world decide how you spend your 24 hours, you'll end up with regrets. You have to claim your time before everything else claims it for you. How do you do it? You begin by saying, "I own my schedule." That doesn't mean ignoring your responsibilities. It means structuring your life so you fulfill your commitments and still carve out time for what propels you forward. Picture a day that starts with intention. You get up, even if it's just 15 minutes earlier, to reflect on your main goals. You plan your priorities. You allocate a block of time for your most important tasks. Whether it's writing that chapter of your book, working on your side business, or simply clearing your mind in meditation to sharpen your focus. You stick to that block like it's sacred ground. You say no to distractions. You turn off notifications when you need to concentrate. And you respect your own boundaries. That's how you shift from reacting to your day to leading it. I remember moments when I was juggling multiple projects, feeling like I was running on a treadmill that wouldn't slow down. People would say, "Well, you have all these commitments. Of course, you have no free time." But then I realized something. I was letting myself be controlled by external demands. I was giving my time away without a clear sense of priority. One day I made a promise. I would schedule 1 hour each morning for pure strategic thinking. No phone, no email, no meetings. That single hour became a powerhouse of productivity. My creative ideas soared, and I discovered solutions that saved me days of work. In other words, by protecting a tiny slice of time, I expanded the overall quality of my life. That's the power you gain when you defend your 24 hours. But there's a pitfall if you don't. Without a firm strategy, you'll drift. You'll procrastinate, then scramble at the last minute. You'll feel stressed, resentful, and uncertain because you never took the time to plan. You'll let your phone dictate your day, responding to every ping and whistle, letting other people's agendas override your own. That leads to missed opportunities, fractured relationships, and a chronic sense of underachievement. If you're feeling some of that now, don't feel ashamed. Recognize it and use it as motivation. Because acknowledging the problem is the first step toward conquering it. So what's the concrete solution? Start small. Start by writing down the one thing you absolutely must accomplish tomorrow. Guard that time like a lion. When the alarms of distraction go off, pause. Ask yourself, is this helping me accomplish my must-do task, or is it pulling me away? If it's the latter, you set it aside, then build from there. Add a second priority, a third, all while staying honest with yourself about your capacity. You can't transform overnight, but you can transform gradually. That's how you learn discipline. That's how you learn the art of saying no when the world wants you to say yes to every unimportant request. Discipline is freedom. Say that to yourself, discipline is freedom. It might sound like a contradiction, but the more you discipline your time, the more freedom you actually create to enjoy your life, your interests, your dreams. And doesn't that feel powerful? But I don't want you just to hear me. I want you to feel it deep in your gut. When you decide to own your schedule, you're taking back the steering wheel. You're no longer a passenger in your own life. You're no longer letting the hours slip away in a fog of tasks that don't serve your purpose. You're standing tall, setting a standard and saying, Wes, I have a destiny to fulfill, and I will not betray my future self by throwing away my present moments. That kind of conviction elevates you. It inspires the people around you. It allows you to look in the mirror and say, I'm proud of how I spent my day. Now, let's talk about something else we often overlook. The traps that eat away at our time without us realizing. I'm talking about the endless scrolling, the aimless browsing, the constant flood of notifications that keep us addicted to that tiny screen in our hands. We think it's just a few minutes, but suddenly an hour is gone, then 2, then half the day. And when bedtime comes, we wonder why we feel hollow. We wonder where our energy went, why our to-do list is still undone, and why our motivation is so low. These distractions are seductive. They give us small hits of dopamine, making us feel momentarily good, but they rob us of lasting fulfillment. You have to spot these thieves. If you don't, they'll slip into your routine and drain your hours before you know it. Then you'll say, I don't have time to chase my dreams. When in reality you do. You're just handing it over to your phone. The consequence. You might miss the chance to level up your career because you never built that new skill. You might lose the deep connection with your loved ones because you're mentally checked out in the same room. And you might let your health suffer because you never made room for exercise and decent sleep. All because you found yourself entangled in meaningless content that doesn't add value to your life. So how do we break free? We do it by setting boundaries. We do it by recognizing the addictive nature of our devices and committing to a digital detox period each day. Maybe you start with 30 minutes. Put your phone on airplane mode. Place it out of sight. Go for a walk. Meditate. Journal. Do something that brings you closer to yourself. If you're in the middle of important work, block distracting sites. Install apps that limit your screen time. Get accountability from a friend who will check if you stuck to your rules. These aren't huge, complicated steps. They're small decisions that add up to a massive impact on your life. And they work only if you stick to them consistently. Anyone can say they'll turn off their phone, but few people follow through day after day. Be one of the few. Consistency over intensity. That's another principle you should lock into your heart. You don't have to overhaul your entire life in one night. You just have to commit to small, repeated actions that shift your habits over time. That's how you build momentum. That's how you gather the strength to take on bigger challenges. That's how you gradually eliminate time-sucking activities and replace them with purpose-driven tasks. And let me ask you, when was the last time you got truly excited about a project or goal? If it's been a while, maybe it's because you're drowning in distractions. Clear them out and watch your excitement come roaring back. I recall a young friend who wanted to learn a new language but kept complaining that he never found the time. He'd say, I'm too busy with work, with social life, with Netflixing. I asked him to track his time for a week, just roughly noting how he spent each day. He was shocked to discover that he spent 20 hours a week scrolling on his phone and streaming shows. That's almost 3 hours a day. Imagine if he dedicated even half of that time to learning. Within a year, he'd be fluent. Within 2, he'd be unstoppable. The point is, awareness is the first step. Then comes discipline. Then comes transformation. And what happens if you don't take these steps? Life keeps moving. Time keeps ticking. You drift further from your goals. You become a spectator instead of a player. You watch other people seize opportunities, and you tell yourself they're just luckier. But deep down, you know luck has nothing to do with it. They're using their hours. They're respecting the gift of time. You can too, but only if you decide to. Otherwise, 10 years from now, you might look back and see a trail of half-finished projects, relationships that never blossomed, and a list of regrets that weigh on your heart. No one wants that. That's why we have to address it now. And here's the beauty of it. Once you start mastering your time, you become a force of nature. You surprise yourself with your efficiency, your creativity, your newfound energy. You discover that you can accomplish more in a focused hour than you used to in a distracted day. You gain clarity on what truly matters. So you stop saying yes to everything. You embrace the power of a well-placed no. And ironically, that's when you start saying the biggest, most important yes of your life. To your own aspirations, your own development, your own sense of purpose. You become an example. Other people see you carving out time to grow, and they wonder how you do it. Then you share your secret. I stopped wasting time. I chose to use my 24 hours wisely. And so when you put these ideas into action, owning your schedule, defeating distractions, you're ready for what comes next, consistent progress and reflection. Let's keep it simple. Once a week, review your time. Ask what went well. Where did I slip? Celebrate small wins. Tweak where you need to. Life isn't static, and your approach to time management shouldn't be either. You'll evolve, you'll learn, you'll refine. That's the journey. That's how you grow. And when people ask you, how do you manage to fit all this in? You'll smile because you know you made a choice. You refuse to be a prisoner of excuses. You became the guardian of your hours. But let's circle back and remember why this even matters. At the core, this is about living a life aligned with your deepest values and potential. This is about waking up excited to do something meaningful. It's about forging relationships that matter, creating work that matters, and leaving a mark that matters. When you waste time, you rob yourself of those joys. When you misuse your 24 hours, you starve your gifts, your talents, your future. Don't do that. Don't sit on the sidelines while your dreams wither. Step onto the field. Be bold, be disciplined, and be relentless in protecting your time. That's how you break free from the cycle of wasted days. Now, let's bring it all home with the final thought. Life is too short to play small. If you remember only one thing from me today, remember that. Every second you're alive, you have a chance to be better. Do better, create better. You have a chance to show the world what you're made of. And it doesn't require special gifts or endless resources. It requires you to look at the clock and say, I will not betray these hours. Yes, I know it's not always easy. Yes, I know there will be days you stumble. But let that be your battle cry. I will not betray these hours. I will use them to become all I can be. I will stay faithful to my dreams, my potential, my God-given ability to rise above obstacles. Think of the people you admire. Did they waste time? Did they let weeks or months drift by without tangible results? No, they focused. They sacrificed. They managed their time so they could hone their craft, refine their ideas, and execute their vision. You have that same capacity within you. But it won't come knocking on your door. You have to open the door by changing your daily habits. Today can be that day. Right now can be that moment. Remember the steps we covered first. Own your schedule. Take responsibility for how you spend every hour. Second, recognize and eliminate distractions. They're thieves that mask themselves as entertainment. Third, be consistent. Do a little each day. Build your discipline muscle. Fourth, reflect and adjust. Keep iterating on your plan. These steps will position you to maximize every minute. These steps can help you break old patterns and find renewed energy for whatever matters most to you. Along the way, don't forget to celebrate your wins. Celebrate when you make progress. Enjoy the journey, because the satisfaction of using your time well is one of the sweetest joys in life. Maybe you're a student stressed about exams in the future. Maybe you're an entrepreneur juggling tasks. Maybe you're a parent balancing work and family life. No matter who you are, your 24 hours are precious. They are your sacred resource, your stepping stones to tomorrow. Don't toss them away on trivialities. Don't drown them in regrets. Stand in your power. See your potential. Embrace your responsibility to use your time wisely. Because in doing so, you give yourself a gift. And you also give a gift to everyone around you. You show them what's possible. You show them how to respect the fleeting nature of life and transform it into something extraordinary. Let's look back at everything we've explored. We started by recognizing how vital it is to stop wasting time. How every moment we lose is gone forever. We dove into the importance of claiming ownership of our schedule, making sure we decide what matters, instead of letting the world decide for us. We looked at the role distractions play, how they erode our days if we don't set boundaries. We learned that discipline creates freedom, that small steps taken consistently lead to tremendous change, that reflection helps us stay on course. We realized that using our 24 hours wisely isn't a burden. It's an honor. It's a conscious choice to value our own lives enough to become the best versions of ourselves. If you absorb these lessons, if you act on them, you'll find doors opening. You'll experience growth that surprises you. You'll find yourself waking up with an unshakable sense of purpose. But remember, knowledge alone isn't power. Applied knowledge is. You must do something. Don't just nod and say, "That sounds good." Do it. Tomorrow morning, or even tonight, sit down and plan 1 hour for your highest priority. Shut off your phone. Read, study, practice, build, dream. Do whatever moves you closer to your goals. Make this a habit. Let it grow. You'll see your life change in real, tangible ways. And I'll leave you with this final charge. Never underestimate the ripple effect of your actions. When you show up disciplined, focused, and determined, it influences your family, your friends, your coworkers. They see you and think, if they can do it, maybe I can too. That's how communities transform. That's how workplaces become more productive. That's how families become stronger. It starts with one person deciding that wasting time is no longer an option. Let that person be you. Decide that right now. In this moment, you're done making excuses. You're done letting external forces direct your path. You're done scrolling away the precious minutes of your life. From here on out, you're a warrior of your own schedule, a guardian of your dreams, and a champion of your future. So step forward with confidence. Let your actions speak louder than your words. Use your 24 hours like they matter, because they do. Relish every minute. Squeeze every drop of opportunity out of them, and go to bed each night with the peace that comes from knowing you lived on purpose. The world is waiting for your contribution. Your family needs your leadership. Your dreams are calling your name. And time is marching on. Don't let it march on without you marching right beside it. Take control, push yourself, and show us all what you're truly capable of. That, my friends, is how you stop wasting time and use your 24 hours wisely. Now go prove to yourself that you can do it. Go make every second count. Because you have it in you, and you've had it all along. Let this be the day you finally decide to rise. Let this be the moment you declare, no more wasted time. And then watch in awe as your life ignites with purpose, passion, and unstoppable momentum. Because when you use your time wisely, you're not just living, you're truly alive. And that, right there, is the essence of real success.